Hello and welcome to my February empties. I know we're definitely in March now, but I feel like throughout February I didn't really have too many empties, and then in the past week there has been just a lot. And I don't want to just save them up for the next month. I'll talk about them this time. Just like last time, I have 18 products and I have divided them into 3 categories. My categories are based on whether I think I would repurchase the product now that I have finished it. And those will be yes, no, and maybe. This time we have 2 products in the yes category, so that's a bit more than last time. But still, most of them are in the no category and just a few are maybes. I also feel like because it's the beginning of the year and at the end of last year I have gotten a lot of minis. I got my Cold Beauty Advent Calendar, I got some sets, Christmas stuff related basically. So I feel like now we will have more empties, and I'm curious to see if throughout the year the number of them normalizes and becomes smaller, because I would be going through full-size products as opposed to minis. But I guess we'll see. Without any further babbling, I will just get into the products. My last videos have been very long and I need to not make that a standard. And if you're wondering what's on my eyes today, this beautiful beaming blue color, I have used the Lens of Enchantment palette from Ansley Rain. And this morning I have already filmed a reel creating this makeup look as well as taken some photos. So they are either already on my Instagram page or soon to be there. Anyways, let's get into my empties. I will start with my maybe category, just not to be too negative at the beginning, but also not to spoil the good stuff. And the first product in my maybe category is my Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. I have it in the mini size that I have bought in UK on my trip there. I'm not sure exactly how much I paid for the mini, but for the 29 grams, which I think is the full size of the product, I would have to pay 45 euros. It is a pretty fancy setting powder. It has definitely established its name, so I'm not surprised. And I do think it's a good powder, which is why it's in the maybe category. The only reason why it's not an immediate yes is because I'm simply curious to try other stuff. So I think before I would decide to buy this again, I definitely want to try, for example, the Huda Beauty powder, the Bake whatever powder. But yeah, before repurchasing this, I would be curious to just try something else. So it's not a no, it's a nice powder. It's a bit on the pricey side, but I enjoyed it. I specifically really liked having it in a small packaging as well. My next maybe is my Fable & Mane Saha Scalp Amla Soothing Serum. In general, I do enjoy scalp serums. I think when taking care of your hair, taking care of your scalp is very important as well. And on top of that, using a scalp serum also reminds me just to do some scalp massaging. And that is another thing that I feel like helps my hair grow and be healthy. The bottle that I have is a mini and it contains 14.4 milliliters, and the full size is 55 milliliters and retails for 34.80 euro. So it's not entirely a cheap scalp serum, but it is something that I might consider after I explore the market more and try other things. So I didn't dislike it. I don't think that I would definitely not repurchase it, but I'm not immediately going to. My next product is another makeup product, and that is my Charlotte Tilbury Push Up Lashes Mascara. I have a mini that I got in one of the Christmas sets from Charlotte Tilbury, and I was really curious to try it out because I have heard good things about it. So I'm very happy I got to try it out. I think as most mascaras at the beginning, it was a bit tricky. I wasn't in love with it. But when it dried out a little, it became good, and I actually really enjoyed the look it gave to my lashes. I think it separated them well. They were pushed up, as the name suggests. The only thing that I didn't like, but something that a lot of mascaras do to me, it was stamping onto my brow bone. I didn't notice any transfer from my bottom lashes, so I don't think it's a very big problem unless you are suffering from that with most mascaras like me. It is related specifically to my bone structure, my deep set eyes, and oily skin. But I did find that tubing mascaras, the Tartelette mascara specifically, didn't do that. So I know there's something that can be better. However, I did enjoy this one. I liked the look it gave me. I just had to clean up the black lines from my brow bone. And while I might not run out and get this one the moment I run out of all of my mascaras, I am curious about the burgundy one. I think it's Pillow Talk shade. I have seen it look really good on some people, so I would be curious to try it out. One thing that makes me hesitate a bit is I don't think I would want that one to be my only mascara because it's so colorful. And because of that, I'm definitely not buying it during my no-buy year because I would not be able to buy a black one. And my last product in my maybe category is something that I have already shown on my channel, and that is the Tarte Shape Tape Radiant Concealer. If you have watched my Project Pan videos, you might have seen it already. I think I spoiled in there that I have run out of it. But yeah, this is a very tiny mini product that I had. I think I got it as a gift with purchase. With this size, it makes sense. I would be quite mad if I had to pay for it. But that is 0.5 milliliters. Full size of Tarte Shape Tape is 10 milliliters and retails for 28 euro. And I definitely said that before already, but I do like Tarte Shape Tape concealers a lot. I don't think I tried the full size of the Shape Tape Radiant, but I did try the creamy one and the standard one, and I enjoyed both of them. In general, as a whole, the idea of a Shape Tape concealer appeals to me. I'm not sure about Radiant specifically, and definitely not this shape because it just didn't match me at all. But at the moment I have quite a lot of concealers, and while I definitely really loved Shape Tape concealers, I'm curious to see if maybe I like something else by the time I'm finished with the ones that I have, if I'm curious to try something else. Shape Tape is definitely still high on my list, but I'm just not planning a purchase yet. We'll move on to my no category. So those will be a bunch of products that I will definitely not be buying for one reason or another. And keep in mind, they are my personal reasons, my financial preferences, whatever. So if you like and repurchase any of those products, I am happy for you, but I will not be repurchasing them. And the first one on the list is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Mine is in the yellow Vitamin C Cactus Flower Water edition. And believe it or not, this was my first time ever trying the famous All Nighter Setting Spray. I bought it in July. I don't think I was using it consistently all the time since then. I don't remember exactly how much time it took me to run out of it, but it was with me for quite a long time. And unfortunately, my conclusion is I don't like it. I am glad to see it gone because I was getting a little tired of it. I think there are still a few drops left, but I'm not using them up. At this point, it's not spraying a mist, it's just spraying droplets, and that is absolutely terrible. But the reason why I don't like it is I feel like it's too setting. So first of all, it would set my makeup in a weird way so that when my oils come up, my makeup would become more cakey just because like the top layer really wants to be set and then the bottom layer doesn't. But also if I sprayed anything unevenly, those spots would be staying there better than other spots. That happened especially when it started spraying drops instead of just a mist. Plus, in general, I feel like it made my makeup touch-ups throughout the day way more difficult. And I personally don't like long-wearing products that just stay put and don't move throughout the day because I don't believe it. They do move. They're still affected by our daily life, what we eat, where we are, sweat, rain, whatever. And I personally just prefer products that are very easy to retouch throughout the day. And I feel like this made whatever I used underneath harder to retouch. I'm not going to be repurchasing that. My next product is a micellar water from Garnier, and it's their Pure Active Micellar Cleansing Water. I don't know how old this one is because it was my brother's and then I got it from him to finish up because he was not using it. So it's not something that I purchased or picked. I don't think it is something that I would purchase or pick. I would go for the regular pink version, if anything. I clearly finished it up. It was fine, it worked. It's not my favorite micellar water, definitely. If you're more in the Garnier budget, I would recommend the pink edition. And if you're willing to spend a bit more money, I am definitely a fan of the red Bioderma. This one is 400 milliliters and it costs around 750 euro. I'm sure it's quite easy to get on a discount as well, so it is affordable. It's just not for me. I don't really need the cleansing benefits that it promises, although I don't really know if it actually has any. But yeah, I will not be repurchasing it simply because I definitely prefer the Bioderma and I have already repurchased it and will be picking it up after I film this video. My next product is something that I got on a recommendation from Lauren May Beauty, and it's the Cuddly Beauty Elixir. It's a minty, herbal smelling, spa-like beauty mist. I don't really know if it has any skincare benefits. I think it's mostly just about the experience. It does say on the bottle soothing, glowing complexion. I definitely did not feel like it was soothing. The reason why I'm not buying it is because it was extremely minty. The closer to the end I got, the more minty it was, to the point that I would get the plumping minty sensation all over my face, and I especially felt it on my eye area, probably because the skin there is so sensitive, and it was like borderline painful. And I love mint, but that was just really unpleasant. So I don't think I would repurchase it in like any occasion, but especially for the price. I bought this one on the airport, so it was a bit cheaper than in the regular store, but still for this size I would have to pay 12 euro, and then for 100 milliliters 35 euro, and this is 30 milliliters. So in general, unless you are a huge fan of the minty plumping sensation and you want it all over your face, I don't recommend it. My next product is a Milky Touch scented coconut oil from the brand Soporia. I'm not gonna be doing a close-up of this one because it just looks a little disgusting with all the oil, but it's just a little jar. I will say the jar is quite nice, and I might keep the jar after I'm done with the video, but the product I really didn't like. I am using oil on my hair every other night. When I'm washing my hair the morning of the next day, during the night I will oil my hair. So I have quite a lot of experience with different oils, and I'm discovering that coconut oil is just not my favorite. I don't like the feeling of having to melt it in my hands, and I feel like this one specifically, it felt like it had some harder chunks that were difficult to melt, and then my hair would just be full of chunks. So I don't like that at all. The main reason why I'm definitely not repurchasing it, however, is the scent. I did buy the scented version on purpose because I expected a delicate coconut, nice scent. However, what this provides is just so bad. The scent is extremely strong and very sweet. It kind of reminds me of the car scents. Like if you got a coconut car scent, I feel like that's how it would smell like. But also it's extremely strong to the point that it almost gave me a headache every time I used it. And I'm not sensitive to scent at all. I usually really enjoy products that smell nice, and I specifically pick products that have scents in them. But this one was just too much, so I'm definitely not repurchasing this one. My next product is a fresh milk body lotion. First of all, when you look at this and know that this is a body lotion, you might think, oh, this must be a mini. It is not. This is full size. It contains 75 milliliters and retails for 12 euro. I don't know if there's a bigger size, but when I found it on Sephora's website, it looked like that was the size. So let me know if I'm wrong, but I was kind of mind blown that this is a full size of a body lotion. Other than that, I found the packaging extremely annoying. It's quite a hard plastic, and the opening is not very big, I guess. I found that it was quite hard to get the product out of the bottle. For most of the time, I had to have it upside down. I feel like that is just bad design. If your product is not coming out of the packaging and people need to put special effort to get the product out of the packaging, that is bad design. On top of that, it smelled kind of perfumey, which was not my favorite kind of scent. I don't really remember what it was, but I remember thinking it was perfumey. And the texture was just meh. For me, it's just a very forgettable product, and I will probably not remember that I even had it after I toss it now. Now we'll talk about my biggest heartbreak of skincare, and that is the Augustinus Bader, the Ridge Cream. I got it in my cold beauty calendar. Despite the packaging looking like it's full size and quite big, this contains just 15 milliliters of product. 15 milliliters is normally a size of an eye cream, and this is a face cream. So the reason why I'm sad about it is because I really loved this product. It really lived up to the name Rich Cream. It had a creamy consistency that then transformed into more oily consistency. It was very easy to blend into the skin, really moisturizing, and I think that's the only cream I ever used that really made me feel like I don't need my oil, my face oil. Usually when I'm doing my night skincare, I finish off with a face cream and then top it with a face oil. And with this one, I didn't feel the need for a face oil. I felt like I was really well moisturized even for a winter season. But of course, because of the size, I ran out of it quickly and I'm not going to repurchase it. It's extremely expensive. The price of it makes 0 sense. I don't believe that anything should be priced that way. Like, I think it's ridiculous. But the price for this size is 87 euros. And if I wanted to buy it in a regular face cream size, so 50 milliliters, I would have to pay 265 euros. Plus, they also have a 100 milliliter size, and that one is 475 euros. I'm not paying either of those prices. I wouldn't pay the smallest price for the biggest product. It's just ridiculously expensive, absolutely not worth it. Even if it was the best cream that exists on the planet, that amount of money is just not justifiable in any way. My next product is another makeup product and also another concealer. And this one is from Inika Organic Sheer Coverage Concealer. Mine is in the shade Porcelain. It contains 10 milliliters of product and retails for around 30 euro. I got it in January of last year and I have been trying to use it up ever since. This is the concealer that made me think that I don't like sheer concealers. I absolutely do not like sheer concealers for under my eyes. The only way I can see myself using a sheer concealer or foundation is as a foundation all over my face. So already I would not be enjoying this as a concealer under my eyes because it just doesn't cover. I have quite visible dark under eye circles at all times, no matter how much I sleep, and this one just would not do the good job. But apart from that, I found the texture to be quite dry. It felt kind of whipped, and that made it a bit harder to blend out. It didn't really look that good. It would look cakey even though it's not a lot of product. Plus sometimes because it's sheer, I would want to pack more product on and then it would also look bad because then it's cakey again. And on top of all of that, the shade was also too light for me. Just not a pleasant experience in general. So I'm not going to be repurchasing this, definitely. And I think I will also stay away from concealers that have the word sheer in the name. Next is my Moroccan oil treatment. It's a silicone-based serum, and I always use this type of serums at the end of my hair care routine to just close everything in. This one smells nice. It was nice to have a small packaging, definitely good for travel, but it's not very cheap, and the reason why I'm not going to buy it is I felt like I can get the same results for a cheaper price. I didn't feel like it was anything special. It worked exactly the same as any other silicone-based serum that I had. And Moroccan oil is a pretty expensive brand, so for that reason I'm not going to be repurchasing it. This is 15 milliliters, which I bought in a mini set of 2 together with a conditioner, but you can buy it in the size of 25 milliliters for 15 euro or 50 milliliters for 35 euro. Also, despite the name being Moroccan oil, it has nothing to do with Morocco. It was actually made in Israel. My next product is an eye cream, and it's my Kiehl's Creamy Eye Treatment with avocado. I was surprised to find out that there's quite a lot of people raving about it. I not only didn't find it to be anything special, I also found it extremely annoying to use. There is something weird about its texture. It kind of feels like it doesn't want to blend on top of itself. So once I have applied a layer of it, I can't blend it out because my finger is covered in it and my eye is covered in it, and it just doesn't connect. So I would have to use a different finger or spend a lot of time blending, and it was just incredibly annoying to use. I'm very happy that I had it with me when I was for a month in Lithuania because my mom probably used up half of it. I'm grateful for that because to me it was an extremely annoying product and I didn't like it. And being that, it's also not cheap at all. This one contains 14 milliliters of product and it costs 38 euro. For that and the weird texture reason, I am not buying it again. My next product is a hair oil and is the Fable & Mane Holly Roots hair oil. So it is a hair oil and a proper one, not a silicone based, a proper oily oil. And I was using it when I was traveling to oil my hair as my oil treatment for my hair. And that was very nice. I enjoyed it. It was a fine oil. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. The reason why I'm not going to be buying it is that it's expensive. And I think that I am completely fine with cheaper hair oils. And I can get away with many other oils before I have to buy this one. This one contains 14.4 milliliters. And this size can be purchased for 16.80 euro. My next product is a huge spoiler for my project pan. Again, clearly those two projects, Empties and Project Pan, work very closely together. And this is another unexpected one. It's my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in cottage cheese. If you've watched my Project Pan video, you would know why it's a spoiler. I have literally just in the last video decided to focus on this more and try to use it up. And I'm pretty sure I even said that we will see this in multiple updates because I still have so much left. The amount that was left is not the reason why it's in here. I think I mentioned also in my Project Pan video that I got it, I think in 2020, so it was just incredibly old. So the moment I sharpened it and tried to use it all over my eyelid as an eyeshadow base, it just crumbled. And it didn't just crumble off the top, literally pieces from the inside of the pencil crumbled out of it. I think it just dried out, so the texture was not sticking to itself. So yeah, this is going out. I hopefully will remember to keep it for my next Project Pan update. And the reason why I'm not going to be buying it again is not that it was a bad product. It's just I used it for a very specific purpose. I used it as a base for the inner corner highlighter. And I have decided that I don't want to have a product for that specific purpose and for such a small area of my face. So I will try to use other things for that, things that I have, and I'm not going to be repurchasing that. And my last product of my no category is another makeup casualty. It's just a little eyeshadow pan from a brand Vibo. I think it's a depotted one of the duos, the green and yellowish green duo. I don't remember the name of it. It's quite old. I think I used this eyeshadow just like once or twice. Not because it was a bad eyeshadow, but just because green was not really a shade I would reach for a lot. And it crumbled apart when I was cleaning my makeup drawer. I noticed it was falling apart and yeah, it was just done. It might have bumped into something, it might be during travel. I don't know what happened, but it's gone and I'm not sad about it. I never used it, like I mentioned. And I'm definitely not going to be repurchasing it, even though I have been using a green shadow of this similar shade recently quite a lot, because I have a shade that looks almost identical in my Odin's Eye Red Dragon palette. This is the shade that I am talking about, and I have been trying to be better at using different palettes and pulling colors from different palettes as opposed to just using one palette for a look. So I have been reaching for this green from the eyeshadow palette way more, and I don't need another single. We are moving on to my yes category, and those are just two products that I really liked. They are affordable enough for me, they are worth it, and I am going to be repurchasing them. I am sure of it. The first one is a foot cream from the brand Evelyn. It's their Revitalium 30% urea cream mask. It says it's also kind of peeling, I assume because of urea. It's a very good ingredient for softening the skin. But basically the reasons why I loved it is it was very moisturizing, it was great for my feet. It was also the closest dupe I was able to find so far to my favorite foot cream, that is for L'Occitane. It is a good dupe not just because of the formula, but also because of the price. Because the L'Occitane one is quite expensive, and this one is actually even less than €3 for 100 milliliters. Depending where you are, this might be more or less easy to get. It is a Polish brand, so it is quite easy to get for me, being in Czech Republic. But generally, if you're looking for an affordable, good, moisturizing foot cream, I definitely recommend this one. And my last product of the video in general is the Beauty of Johnson Relief Sun Rice Plus Probiotics SPF 50 PA++++. I think I got this one from a friend who said she didn't like it, so keep that in mind. There are people who don't like it. I personally am a huge fan. The reasons why I like it is, first of all, it's extremely moisturizing. I really love how moisturizing it is. I feel like I don't need to use a different moisturizing cream underneath for it to be just enough. If you've been watching my channel, you already would know that I love moisturizing stuff. It also feels very gentle. It almost feels soothing. In general, I really love the texture of it. Plus it leaves no white cast, at least for me and my skin tone. And on top of all of that, the packaging is very sleek, it's elegant, minimalistic, and it's quite small, so it also works for travel quite well. And it's SPF 50, which is very important for me. I will keep recommending this sunscreen for sure. And those are all of my products. Thank you for listening to my Thrive reviews. Let me know what you thought of the video. if you have tried any of these products, if you agree with what I said about them, if you maybe have completely different opinions. Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like. And if you think you would enjoy this kind of content in general, content around no-buy, project panning, empties, conscious consumerism, I think you need to subscribe. And with that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!